It was good. It's your man, 100 grand Ross with the Rock Never Stops. Do y'all see the vision? Do you see the vision? Do you see what we've been talking about and just how talented this team can be? I hope y'all see it because I see it. Do you see it? Because I see it. I don't know if you see it. I see it. After yesterday's game against the Portland Trailblazers, especially on the back end of losing to the Bucks, I had to sit down and I was like, you know what? They got a back-to-back. Let me not overassess based on just this one game. Let me take some time and really see what's developing, what's cooking. And that's important because the season is long. Change doesn't happen from game to game. It kind of happens gradually over time. And so I want to talk about what I'm seeing changing for this team. I think they're making major strides in terms of how they're playing as a group, how they're playing as a unit. I think JB is figuring out his rotation. I think Javonte Green is cementing himself as a part of this rotation. Unfortunately, it looks like Dennis Jenkins is sliding out of the rotation. There's a lot of things to talk about. We're going to get into that in this video. But before we do, as always, smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for you, but a big thing for the channel. And so if you can go ahead and smash the button slow, for me, I'd appreciate it. I'd appreciate it. Then also make sure you subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you're notified as soon as I get on. Yeah, and definitely share. You know what I'm saying? Share the video with somebody. All right. With all that said, yo, salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. Ray Floyd, my guy. Yo, it's good to see you. You see the vision, right? You see the vision. Kingmaker was good. What's good? So this is really probably the headline of this. This is what it should be. Black Hearts. Yo, what's good? What's good? Salute, salute. I would say the vision is becoming clear. The vision is becoming crystal clear. The vision, man, it looks damn good. It looks damn good. I watched Cade look more relaxed in our offensive system than ever. I watched Cade Cunningham look more relaxed in our system than ever. If I'm honest, everybody looked relaxed in our system. Everyone looked like they knew exactly what they were supposed to do. Everyone looked like they knew where to be. I didn't see anybody holding on to the ball, trying to force anything. And I'm saying there may have been a play here and there. Okay, there may have been a play here and there, right? Bad turnover, errant pass, uh, maybe playing defense with your hands instead of your feet, Jaden. You know, uh, but those were exceptions to the norm. The norm tonight was Detroit basketball. Great defense, smothering defense, forced you to have to hit tough shots over and over and over. Yo, David Crossley, great point. What's good, man? Point Asar makes that ball flow properly. Ball was moving crisply in the second half. And that is a major testament to Cade Cunningham's growth and maturity. He struggles with becoming more ball dominant in the second half instead of continuing to trust the system. And Asar Thompson is looking more and more comfortable. Man, it's a thing of beauty to see. I mean, because it's one thing to like forecast it. It's another thing to be like, hey, he's got a lot of potential. I see glimpses. I see moments. But then you get into one of these games, and then it just materializes. It just materializes. I wanna go through the roster because there's so much to talk about. Asar Thompson shooting 6 of 7 from the field, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, only 1 turnover. Come on now. Come on now. 8 assists, 1 turnover. Yeah, every Whiteside. Facts. The beauty is that it's still early in the season. Salute, bro. That's a great point. Great point. We're at game number. Let's see what it says here. What game number is this? Hold on, I'm about to pull it up. It doesn't show the record. That's all right. Y'all let me know in the chat. What game number is this? This has got to be what? Number 17? 18? Something like that? We got another 58 games to go. Right? It's mad early. Game number 24. Thank you, Michaela. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Game number 24. Damon Bell. Appreciate that. Salute, chat. Appreciate y'all. Help a brother out sometimes. Can't have all the stats. When I watch this game, this team looks like it is clicking on an abnormal level of continuity, focus. They're becoming more and more mature, not getting baited as easily. They're being more disciplined. And to be honest, this has to be scary because if Jalen Durant becomes a more disciplined, locked in player, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Like literally, sky is the limit. 16 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 1 turnover. Only 2 fouls. He was a plus 27. A plus 27, our second highest plus minus on this team. Oh yeah, Miles Turner can't do nothing with Durant. But I told y'all before, Miles Turner also tends to tear Durant a new one in terms of shooting threes. Shot 3 of 7. The reality is they probably should have been running plays for Miles Turner. You know, the Bucks don't have a lot of firepower. That's just the reality. They don't have a lot of firepower. They don't have the offense to keep up. And when we play this level of defense, most teams don't have this level of firepower. Most teams only have a few guys, a couple guys. Cade, he didn't have to go into overdrive in this game. He didn't have to take over because he could have had that mindset in the second half. He could have got the ball and was like, all right, let's go. I got to get mine. I got to make sure that I get my stats. I got to make sure that I am ready to lead this team across the finish line. No. He was playmaking for others, dropping it off, kicking it out, probing. He played one of his best games of the season. Yeah, that's how you get your get back. That's how you get your get back. Jalen Durant, I'm the captain now. Yeah, no, hey, bro. I'll say this. Jalen Durant, man, his potential is scary. It just is. It just is. When you have his combination of size and athleticism, along with his touch, uh, his scoring acumen, and if I'm honest, he wasn't as aggressive in this game. He wasn't as aggressive in this game. You know, one of the things that I've always said is Jalen Durant needs to be shooting somewhere close to 15 shot attempts a game because he ends it shooting 75% or better. But what was crazy was almost everybody was shooting it so well. Look, Jaden Ivey shot 3 of 4. Javonte Green, 5 of 9. Asar Thompson, 6 of 7. Isaiah Stewart, 6 of 8. The reality is they just couldn't do nothing with us. And when we play unselfishly, we have so much talent on this team. It doesn't allow teams to be able to focus in on any one of us. And when Cade Cunningham, our best player, buys into that, when he buys into moving the ball and getting everyone involved, it places teams in a position where they just have to hope we miss. But what was beautiful about it is we weren't settling for threes. We were taking open threes. We were taking good threes, but we weren't settling. We were getting the paint touches, making good decisions. And man, did it work out. I said last time against the Bucks, I was like, look, we shot horrifically from the three-point line against the Bucks a few nights ago. I didn't think that was going to continue to happen. And the more these guys have gotten comfortable within this system, the more you see their shots are dropping. The more you see that they're able to get to where they want to go because they understand what's open for them. I think after this game, I don't think teams stay in zone against us. It just looked too easy. It looked too easy. It looked like everybody knew what gaps to penetrate, what shots they were going to get, how they're going to get the ball to the big man after penetrating or kicking out to a wide open three. It was just too. They were too well prepared. Let me be frank about it. They were too well prepared for Milwaukee to have a chance to do anything about it. The reality is, outside of Kevin Porter Jr., who looked great. I keep telling y'all, yo, he's a baller, bro. Kevin Porter Jr. is a baller. He had 32 points, 6 rebounds, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals, and a block with only 1 turnover. He had a monster of a game. Kevin Porter Jr. is nice, bro. He's nice. But outside of him, Ryan Rollins, but he struggled. He struggled. He's having to adjust to a new role, playing off the ball instead of on the ball more. Uh, but we did what we're supposed to do. Being the better team, being the number one team in the East, being one of the best teams in the league, that we are proving we are one of the best teams in the league. If I can say it again and again, we are proving that we are one of the best teams in the league. Remember, Portland just mollywopped Cleveland, right? We are beating teams that have beat the best teams. Even if we lost to a Cleveland, we've also beat some of the best teams, like Houston. We are getting quality wins, playing quality basketball, and you can't ask for more than that. You really can't, especially in the dog days of the NBA, which is really December into January. Those are the dog days. Those are the hump day, Wednesday, week, work day. Nobody really wants to go in. It's hard to really get up for a game. It's tough. To see them go out there and execute the way that they did, um, it's just a thing of beauty. I applaud it. Because remember, we're not playing for the regular season. We're not playing for right now. Like, to a degree, yes, we have to compete right now. But what we're preparing for are the playoffs. And that is where you have to build great habits. They have to build great habits to succeed in the playoffs. Because when the intensity ratchets up, because right now it's probably the lowest intensity in the NBA it's going to get for the next month and a half. Then it's going to kick up a little bit leading into the All-Star game because guys want to make the All-Star team. But then what's going to happen is that after the All-Star game, that's the playoff push. Trade deadline has come, gone, playoff push. And that is when you're going to see teams start to ratchet it up. And then February going into March and April, it's going to get real intense. But then around the back end of April, you're going to have teams that are shooting for the lottery. So you're going to have like really high low games, really intense, competitive, trying to jockey for a position in the playoff lineup. And then you're going to have a game where it's like this team is ready to go to the lottery right now and try to get AJ DeBonsa, right? Try to get Darren Peterson, try to get one of these guys, Cam Boozer or something. All to say is that these days are about execution. They're about how can you build the habits that we are going to need later. Now, with that said, so many players playing well. It was, I'm sure, noticeable to everybody that Dennis Jenkins was not in the rotation. And I get it. With Ivy coming off the bench, you really can't have an Ivy and Dennis. Dennis doesn't shoot well enough off the ball as a catch and shoot guy. And so until Ivy gets moved into the starting lineup, which I think will be sooner than later. I think it'll be sooner than later because right now teams are figuring out how to smother Duncan Robinson and take away his three-point shot. And the more and more that happens, the more and more you're going to need somebody who's a little bit more dynamic. And I think, as we've been saying, once Jaden Ivey is able to play 25, 30 minutes a game, he's going to be in the starting lineup because we need to see what that looks like. Jaden Ivey tonight he played only 15 and a half minutes. Only 15 and a half minutes. He had 2 fouls, 2 turnovers. That's a little steep for a bench player. But he got to run the show. And that's what's important. That we want to see Ivy be able to run the show off the bench. He got 5 rebounds, 2 assists. We want to see what Ivy can do on the court. We want to see him get into his rhythm because the more he does, the more we can start moving towards solidifying what this rotation is going to look like. Like really solidifying what it's going to look like. Yeah, it's all about smarter coaching, right? Rotation like Stu with Duran, but not getting carried away. It is only a sub 500 team, but it's a sub 500 team that beat us 2 nights ago. Sub 500 team that beat us 2 nights ago. So they were good enough to beat us. This was a game that we needed to kind of not so much get the monkey off our back, but to really assert dominance in the East. And that's something that we're going to start talking about. This team needs to start dominating. They need to get used to dominating. Like not just having dominant moments, a dominant stretch, dominant games. They need to be dominant for a stretch of games, not just a stretch of a game. Right? And if I'm honest, I've kind of been seeing this build up. I've been seeing it for a while. Uh the Pistons' ability to run that offense to perfection, to trust each other, to move the ball, moving without the ball, cutting, passing, relocating, trusting one another. They still need to get better at boxing out, but they're getting more of the 50-50 balls. They do need to get a little bit better in transition. They didn't have as many transition moments or scoring as much as I thought that they would have had. Maybe I just missed it. I would be interested to see, I don't know if somebody wants to look it up, how many points the Pistons had in transition. Because it felt like a whole lot of half court execution, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that. Um, a couple other things. JB Biggerstaff is coaching his ass off. JB Biggerstaff is coach of the year. Flat out. Flat out. He's got such a young team. He's got a bunch of guys who have been in a fluctuating lineup situation all season. All season. So what we're looking at right now is a team that has not had the ability to have the stability, and yet it's still executing at a high level. It's still able to understand their roles, positions, what they're supposed to be doing, and then execute it. And the fact that it starts with defense means that everyone can contribute and everyone can be a part of winning, even if you don't know what to do offensively. Which kudos, shout out to JB Biggerstaff, has made sure that that has been a very clear message. Now, there's some other things that I think we should clean up, but I think that JB has done a good job of that. Having Javante Green in the rotation really helps if you're going to play Jaden Ivey and Karis LeVert together, because I don't think that those are two good perimeter guys to play together, defensively wise. But having Javante was really good for us. Ron and then B-Ball Paul, right? And I think that we're going to see more and more of the Pistons not playing Karis and Tobias on back-to-back games, which is going to free up opportunities for other guys to get more playing time. We've got essentially like 5 days off. We got Sunday all the way through next Friday until we play. So I expect to see these Pistons continue to roll. They've won 2 in a row. 2 in a row. We got the Hawks. They're always a tough out for us. But I'm interested to see how much we continue to apply what we've learned. Because here's the big difference. Milwaukee's perimeter defense. I mean, I don't even think that they had AJ Green out there, if I'm clear. I don't think they had AJ Green. Nope, no AJ Green. So probably their best perimeter defender alongside of Ryan Rollins wasn't available. Atlanta's gonna have mad perimeter defense. They're gonna have mad perimeter defense. So we're gonna have to be locked in. And I want to see how much of this transfers. Because it's one thing to execute your offense against Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins. It's another thing altogether to execute your offense against Dyson Daniels, Zachary Risachet, right? Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Kongwu, right? What's his name? Nikhil Alexander Walker. They probably have the best defensive backcourt, probably best perimeter defense in the NBA. So this is something that I'm looking to see. Do they continue to trust each other? Do they continue to execute? Do they continue to move well without the ball, make quality passes? The thing is, there was also quite a few sloppy passes. And I think that they will continue to iron this out. If you looked at JB and what he's been doing with this roster, they continue to grow at such an incredible rate, despite the fluctuations in the rosters, despite the injuries, despite people coming back from injury and having to reposition them back in the starting lineup or as a premier player off the bench, right? Like I just said, Dennis Jenkins didn't play until the very end of the game, and he was starting 2 weeks ago. So let's see what transfers. We've got Atlanta on Friday. Then I think we have Boston right after that. Yeah, we got Atlanta on Friday, Boston on Monday. So we'll have 2 days off after that, Saturday and Sunday. Then we will have Dallas on Thursday. That should be interesting. Um, after about 3 days off. So we're getting a lot of days off. Then we have the Hornets on Saturday. Yep. And then the Trailblazers again, and then the Kings. If I'm honest with you, we haven't really had too much of the heavy hitting teams. I mean, we don't get to the Lakers until the end of the year on the 30th. And then we get the Cavs back in the new year. Then we get the Knicks in the new year. Yeah. Then it's going to get a little bit heavier. Then we got the Rockets again, January. And then we got the Denver Nuggets. And then the Warriors. Yep. January is going to be a beautiful potential test of what we do against the juggernaut teams. And when I say a juggernaut teams, I mean teams that are legitimately trying to compete for a championship, not just get into the playoffs, but a championship. I really want to see what we look like against Oklahoma City. I really want to see what we look like against Oklahoma City. I really do. And Denver. And Denver. Uh, I want to see us face Houston again now that their offense is really rolling. Because the way that we're playing right now, that's all it's about. It's about being tested. It's about letting somebody do that stress test, do that pressure test. How do you measure up? How do you show up? How do you deal with the intensity as it's ratcheted up by a team that knows how to play NBA Finals level basketball and win? And win. Let me get to some of the questions or comments in the chat real quick. Lava Desert. So why coach Jenkins when playing like a star? One, recently he has not been playing like a star. Coming off the bench, he's been pressing a little bit. Also, with Jaden Ivey coming off the bench, you didn't want to be splitting minutes running the offense between Jaden Ivey, Karis LeVert, and Dennis Jenkins. I think it removes a lot of Dennis Jenkins' strengths and potential opportunities. And he's not as effective playing off the ball. Javonte Green is far more effective playing off the ball. 3-and-D guy. He rebounds, toughness, versatility, gets out in transition. He does more of what we're needing when Jaden Ivey is coming off the bench. I think when Ivey goes back to the starting lineup, I think we see uh, Dennis Jenkins reinserted into that bench rotation. But right now, that means that Duncan, Karis, Ron, Stu are coming off the bench already. So who rounds out number 10? Is it Javante or is it Dennis? I think it'll be Dennis. I think it'll be Dennis because I think Dennis brings a little bit more pop in terms of getting us into our offense. I don't think we want to just rely upon Karis LeVert to be the primary offensive initiator coming off the bench. He can, but you don't want that to be his full-time job. And I don't think Ron Holland is ready for that yet. So I think Dennis Jenkins gets reinserted back into that role after Ivy goes into the starting lineup, which I think may happen sooner than later, maybe in the next couple weeks. Let me see. Is it just me with the insight? What's good? Salute. I think if we can figure out how to handle these zone defense, we can beat just about anybody. I think we already have. I think I made a comment a couple games ago. We've already figured it out. We figured it out. We just have to do it consistently, and then just knock down the shots. We got great shots against the Bucks. We got great shots. We just missed them. And I've said it before. I would rather be a team that is missing great shots, great looks, great opportunities, than making a bunch of bad shots. Because it's about building habits. It's about building habits. Let me see. Let me see. Get to some of these. Happy to see Marcus Sasser back, boy. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. Kudos to him. He didn't try to press. Try to force anything. First game back, took his time. Got integrated. Got himself a few fouls. Let me see. Yo, what's good, D Rock? I appreciate that. I appreciate you too, man. I appreciate you too. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Salute. Salute. Dan Tomasi, this is a good time to have a week off, get some chemistry with the team being relatively healthy. This would also be a great time to reinsert Jaden Ivey into the starting lineup. This week would be a great time to reinsert Jaden Ivey into the starting lineup. Why? Why, you might ask? Why? Well, I already went over the schedule, but I'll do so again. We have 5 days off before our next game. Having 5 days off means that we have an opportunity to get used to running offense with Jaden Ivey, where we want him to be, getting in good practice sessions, 5-on-5, uh, working through expectations. I think JB's done a great job of trying to get a lot of overlap minutes between Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham since he's been back, especially recently. Um, I think this is a good time to bring him back. They have the opportunity to work out the kinks. Of course, it's going to have to be worked out in game time in real time. But I think also teams have figured out how to take away Duncan Robinson to a degree. Not to say you can ever really take him away, but it's to say that if they if they can keep him from getting his shot off, or kind of neutralize him a bit by taking advantage of him on defense, which you're going to be able to do with Ivy anyhow. But just follow me on this. Duncan Robinson loses value on the court when his shot's not dropping. He is more liable to be defended really well and his shot doesn't drop playing in a starting lineup versus coming off of a bench. So he may be more maximally effective coming off the bench, whereas Jaden Ivey brings the opportunity to not only catch and shoot, which he did really well in this game, but also be able to get downhill and get to the rim. He showed in this game the patience to drive into the key, get paint touches, and then kick the ball back out. I think that has more value on this team than only being able to knock down threes. Now, I will say this. Ivy must get better on defense. He really needs to. He's really got to get better on defense. He struggled today. He struggled. Just outright. He struggled. Not moving his feet, being out of position. But this is stuff that's to be expected when you miss a training camp. Um, you miss a lot of the early goings of the season. You're going to have to play yourself into rhythm. You're going to have to figure it out. Let's just do away with the whole "we should have went to the G League." Yes, but it's over with. All right. I think if he had gone, he comes back more ready to go, alert, locked in, better defense, better efficiency, less turnovers, etc. But it's in the past now. Right now, we are at what's our record again? 18-5, 19-5. We're 19-5. We can have all the criticisms that we want. Our team is balling. Our team is balling. And we get contribution all the way through the line. All the way through the line. JB Bickerstaff has done a hell of a job coaching this team. Hell of a job. I'm not mad at all. So when we think about When we think about what is needed, we have to caveat it that we're still balling. We're still winning. It does feel good, Frank Nitty. It feels real good. It feels, I'm gonna be honest with you, Frank. It's probably the best I've felt after a win. Because we took care of business, but we did what we were supposed to do against a team that we were supposed to do exactly that to. We knew that the Bucks without Giannis are a one-trick pony, and that's not enough to beat us. Kevin Porter Jr. is an elite talent. Elite talent. He made it look so damn easy against us. But we had our moments against him as well. And inevitably, we had way more horses in this race. They had one. We had about 5 or 6 guys who were playing extremely well, knocking down shots, getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, scoring when they needed to, getting to their spots, right? Whether it was attacking the paint, shooting in the mid range, going up and under on the opposite side of the glass. I mean, getting to the post moves. Guys were just able to get where they wanted and do what they wanted to do throughout the full course of the game. I don't think there was much the Milwaukee Bucks could have done about any of it. Any of it. When I think about facing the Hawks next, I think we have the Charlotte Hornets and then Dallas Mavericks. No, sorry, Atlanta, Boston, then Dallas, I think, and then Charlotte. I don't think this is going to test us as much as, once again, these are going to be games where you have to execute. Because if you don't, if you're turning it over, not boxing out, it's going to be a dogfight. You're going to be hoping that you can close it out. I would like to see this team continue to put teams in this position, that our defense is going to smother you for all 4 quarters. And even if you had it going for a little while, the moment you slow down, we take you out the game. Game over. And that 4th quarter came around, it was a wrap early. We went on a run, got them up out of there. We got Sasser in the game. We got Jenkins in the game. Got more minutes for B-Ball, Paul. Chaz Zanier even put up a couple shots. This is how we want to finish games, especially against teams who are sub 500, especially against teams who don't have the necessarily prerequisite ability to stay with us. They don't have the depth. They don't have the talent. This is what we're supposed to do. Exactly this. Exactly this. J.R. Geddes says, I think we're going to win 55 games. You know what? I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked. I forecasted 48 games. That's what I forecasted. I think the schedule's going to get a lot tougher. Excuse me. I think the schedule's going to get a lot tougher come January, February, March. If I pull it up real quick. So January is going to be tougher. We're going to face the Lakers, the Denver Nuggets, Warriors, etc. The Cavaliers, the New York Knicks. It's going to get tougher. But then we got February. We got the Nuggets again. We got the Knicks again. We got the Raptors. We got the Knicks. We got the Spurs. We got the Thunder finally. We got the Cavs. Shoot, and then March, we got the Magic, the Cavs, the Spurs, the Heat. Then we get a little bit of a reprieve on the back end of March. Yeah, I think we can get to 55 wins. February is going to test us. So is January. And then it's going to lighten up down the stretch. Yo, Lava Desert says, with Stu and Duran playing together and gelling, 30 minutes plus would be monster. Completely true. What's crazy is we don't have to play them 30 minutes, 30 plus minutes. That's what's so incredible about having depth. This is how your players are able to maintain and take the marathon that is the regular season and get to the playoffs healthy. You got to have depth. You have to have depth. And we have talents out there like Duran Cade Ivy, and Asara Thompson. They're going to make the game easy for one another, just playing off of each other, playing well together. With Isaiah Stewart, Ron Holland, Javante Green, Paul Reed, we're going to have our toughness, that physicality, that defensive intensity, that motor, that length. We're going to be able to get our hands on a lot of block shots, a lot of steals, deflections. And then we got some guys who can shoot. Karis LeVert, looking like a great signing. He's looking like a great signing. At 6'7", he has the ability to knock down shots, move without the ball, get to the rim. And notice in this game, he really wasn't driving a lot. He was spotting up. Maybe he was trying to show us that he could do what Duncan Robinson does. It says, hey, when he comes down to the bench, I could do what he does, plus a little bit more. And I wouldn't deny it. I would say, yes, you can. Neither him or Duncan are exceptional defenders. Both about the same size, 6'7", 6'8". So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. Let me just point this out. I don't know if Trajan Langdon looks to do a trade. I don't know if Trajan Langdon looks to do a trade because how much this team is growing, how much these guys are gelling together. I don't know if they necessarily want to introduce someone who might affect how they're gelling together. And if Isaiah Stewart can continue to look this good as a starting power forward, like granted he's going up against Kyle Kuzma. All right. But as I say, if Isaiah Stewart is shooting 6 of 8, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, still gets you, well, he only got 2 rebounds, but he had a great block, only 2 fouls. And a lot of times his impact is not only felt by the shots he blocks, but by the shots he doesn't have to block because the guy doesn't even go in there. All this to say is that if Isaiah Stewart continues to play this well, it's going to have a ripple effect on Tobias Harris. And I think he's okay with it. I think he sees the writing on the wall. I think that's evident. But I think it will be interesting to see how this team comes together with potentially 2 more adjustments to the starting lineup, which would be Isaiah Stewart at the 4 position, and Jaden Ivey at the off guard position. I'm curious what you all think about what a lineup with Cade, Ivy, Asar, Stu, and Duran can really do. What do you think that they can do? Because I think they're murder out there. Whoever comes against them, it's about the Pistons, not the other team. The only team that I'm probably really concerned about is like Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City legitimately has the talent and depth, speed, toughness, defense, length, to get it done. We would come in there as the underdog, but every other team, I mean, Denver maybe, but if we're starting our double bigs against Denver, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. Uh, but yeah, I want to see how Ivy looks. Do you think? Do you all think? I think I'm gonna cut this live a little bit early, but do you all think that Jaden Ivey continues to grow and thrive, inserted into the starting lineup? And do you think now is when we should do it? This 5-game break, we're going to have a bunch of games lined up for the next few weeks that we're going to have significant days off in between 3 days, 2 days, stuff like that, 4 days. Um, but let me know what you think. Yo, let me just leave you with a word for today before I get out of here. Um, get sleep. Hey, did y'all know NBA players get hella sleep? At least that's how a lot of their routines are. They get a lot of sleep. They get their 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night. Then they're gonna take a nap after workouts and practice. They're gonna eat lunch and they're gonna sleep for another hour or two, unless they got the kids. Maybe it's just an hour. But they get a lot of sleep because they understand the connection between their bodies and their mind and their ability to perform. That when the body is rested, you can maximally perform. We gotta get sleep in our everyday lives, y'all. including me right now. We got to get sleep because some of us are trying to do things in our lives. We got a lot of pressures and demands. And I know it's hard, and sometimes it's like, oh man, it's hard to go sleep. You know what trick if you got kids? Take your shower and get ready for bed before they do, so that when you put them to sleep, you're ready to go to sleep. Not getting up and trying to now clean up and do all this other stuff. Get to sleep. Sleep is essential. It is essential. Some of us get in arguments, making decisions because we're just tired. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. But with that, I'm a bounce. It's your man, 100 grand. Ross with the Rock Never Stops. If you haven't had an opportunity to click that like button yet, please do. Smash the like button for me. Remember, it's a small thing for you, big thing for the channel. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Appreciate all the love and support, everyone who comes through on these lives. I'm going to be doing some more stuff throughout the course of this upcoming week on what potential lineups could look like with Jaden Ivey back inserted. What Asar Thompson is showing us in these games. Jalen Duren, does he have that next step to take? What does it look like? Because I see he's starting to shoot that jumper more, but then he stopped shooting once he missed that first turnaround jumper. It's like, no, bro, I'm waiting for you to go out there and you shoot 3 to 5 jumpers every game. Like, that's got to be the mindset. If I'm open, if he's off me, I believe in my jump shot. Take it, knock it down. All right. I definitely want to do some discussion around Dennis Jenkins potentially reinserted into the bench unit role, and just some other things around what I see this season. I may even do some talks about other teams that we have coming up. I'll probably watch some videos and games of theirs as well in terms of Atlanta, Boston, um, Dallas, Charlotte, etc. So, all right, with that, I got to bounce. Y'all have an amazing evening. Get some rest. Get some sleep. Mahalo at you. Peace.